this meeting of the New Hanover County Board of Education to order. We apologize for a few minute late start, but we've had meetings going on since 3:30 and one of them kind of ran over, so we apologize for that. This time, if you would please stand for the invocation, remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and the National Anthem. We'll have our invocation. Lord, we thank you for this day, this opportunity to come together tonight. Be with us in all decisions that are made. Grant us wisdom and make us ever mindful of the needs of others. In your holy name we pray. Amen. Amen. We'll have a pledge of allegiance. Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Everyone may have a seat, please. And at this time, we will pass a microphone down. We want to thank Ms. Stump from Pine Valley Elementary School for our national anthem tonight. We really appreciate it. You did a very good job. And if you would also, I don't know if the principal, I don't know if I saw the principal here. Yeah, I do too. Ms. Rebecca Higgins-Opgran, we appreciate you being here tonight also and bringing your students down here to do the national anthem for us. So at this time, if you would pass the microphone down and let us know what grade you're in and how old you are. Oh, I know, and your name also, of course.
Hi, my name is Kylie Vintajingwa. I am 10 years old, and I am a top Tiger 4th grader.
Hi, my name is Madeline Buffalo. I'm 10 years old, and I'm a top Tiger 4th grader.
Hi, my name is Amanda Sheavis. I'm 11 years old, and I'm a top Tiger 5th grader.
My name is Bobby Molensky, and I'm 10 years old, and I'm a top Tiger 5th grader.
Hi, my name is Grace Buffalo. I'm 11 years old, and I'm a top Tiger 5th grader.
Hi, my name is Kayla Nicholas, and I'm 11 years old, and I'm a top Tiger 5th grader.
Hi, my name is Sheridan Miller, and I'm 10 years old, and I'm a top Tiger 4th grader.
Hi, my name is Macy Morrison. I'm 10 years old, and I'm a top Tiger 4th grader.
Hi, my name is Emma Graff. I'm 10 years old, and I'm a top Tiger 5th grader.
Hi, my name is Jenna Binion. I'm 10 years old, and I'm a top Tiger 4th grader.
Hi, my name is Madison Miracle, and I'm 11, and I'm a top Tiger 5th grader.
Hi, my name's Mary Lou Brennan. I'm 10 years old, and I'm a top Tiger 4th grader.
Hi, my name's Ava Walger. I'm 9 years old, and I'm a top Tiger 4th grader.
My name's Andrea Hoff. I'm 11 years old, and I'm a top Tiger 5th grader.
Thank you again. I've already recognized the principal. I guess the top Tiger teacher is Miss Victoria Stump. So we appreciate them being here tonight. Thank you. Ms. Adams, if you would, call the roll, please.
Donald S. Hayes.
Here.
Jeanette S. Nichols.
Here.
Janice A. Kavanaugh.
Here.
Tammy J. Koval.
Here.
Lisa Eastep.
Here.
Derek G. Hickey.
Here.
Edward B. Higgins.
Here.
Thank you. Item 2 is approval of the agenda. Any additions or changes we need to make to the agenda?
Under Superintendent's report, I don't know if it's made it to your agendas you have in front of you. We did our presentation to the county commissioners last night about the county budget, so I'd like to present a brief update on that.
It is on there.
And then just a reminder about a need for a closed session at the end.
It's on there as well. It's there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Both of those are on there. Is there a motion? Move for approval. Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
It is approved. Thank you. Item 3, approval of the minutes. Item A, the regular meeting, May 7th, 2013. We'll just take them both together. Item B, work session, May the 21st, 2013.
Move for approval.
Second.
Comments or questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? They're approved. Thank you. Item 4, recognition.
Good afternoon, everyone. Our first recognition is very exciting. Tonight we will recognize students who have 13 years of perfect attendance. And our first honoree is from Ashley High School, and the student's name is Sydney Gask. And if Sydney's family's here, we'd love to have you stand as well. And our next two students who have 13 years of perfect attendance come from Laney High School. The first one is Will Sharp. And if Mr. Sharp's family is here, please stand. And finally, for 13 years of perfect attendance, we will recognize Mr. Tyler Bundy and his family. Please stand. We congratulate the students and the families.
Do they want to share any secrets with us as to how you do that for 13 years? That's amazing.
Don't catch the chicken hawk. Our next award will recognize the 2013 Soil and Water Conservation State Contest. We had several students who were winners. As I call your name, would you please come up so we can have a group photograph with Mr. Hayes, our chairman. Our first student is Miss Olivia Reeves. Olivia is from Noble Middle School, and she is the first place speech winner. Olivia, are you here? Yes. Our next winner is Ezra Martinez from Pine Valley Elementary School. Is that Ezra's mom? Congratulations, Mom. And finally, Miss Maya Cheatham of Hoggart High School, who is the second place poster contest winner. There's Mrs. Cheatham, congratulations. we can have a group photo with Mr. Hayes, please. And for all the parents. Thank you. Congratulations. Our next set of winners come from our Parsley Elementary School. Parsley Patriots, there's Dr. Hamilton over there. The Parsley 5th grade math AIG students scored first place in the region in the Continental Math League competition. This is a very special competition. The region consists of 11 states. The students competed in 5 meets before being named the winner. This is an amazing accomplishment for our Parsley Patriots. So congratulations. Please come up as I call your name. Brandon Broadwater. Jimmy Glennening. Brady Hoffacker. Hannah Kim. Bailey Moss. Kim Oakley. Logan Feifel. Maddie Pogue. Leah Schwagel. Ethan Talbot. Hadley Todd. Jacob Treemstra. Jackson Vargo. Luke Ward. Christopher Wetherill. Brooke Yingling. And I'd like to ask the AIG teacher, Ms. Christy Yeomans, and our principal, Robin Hamilton, if they would join us for our group picture, please. Parents, if you're not taking a picture, please stand. We'd like to congratulate you again on your outstanding Parsley Patriots. Thank you, everyone. Our next recognition tonight is also for a math contest. Our New Hanover County math students performed very well at the North Carolina High School Math Contest State Finals. As I call your name, will you please come up to receive your certificate from Mr. Hayes, and we'll have another group photo. So please join me in congratulating Kevin Hugh from Rolling Grice Middle School. Giovanni Boudi, also from Rolling Grice. Ben Fawcett from New Hanover High School. Gadam Vimery from Holly Shelter Middle School. Right. Our students are multi-talented, Mr. Hayes. Austin Redenbaugh from Hoggard High School. And last but not least, Miss Dianiwan Su from Laney High School, and she won first place in the Algebra 2 category. I'm sorry, he won first place. Parents and students, congratulations. Mr. Hayes, would you join us for a group photo? Thank you. Our next recognition is for the 2013 North Carolina Science and Engineering Fair, which was held recently in Raleigh. As I call your name, please come forward to receive your certificate and a group photo. Our special award winners include Michaela Abraham from Anderson Elementary School. I think your parents are here if they'd like to stand. There's Mom. Richard Everhart from Isaac Bear Early College High School. Brooke Hain, also from Isaac Bear. William Britt, also from Isaac Bear. And next we have some second place division winners and special award winners, and they are Brittany Williams from Laney High School. Okay, and this last one is very amazing. It's Mr. Kevin Frank from Isaac Bear. Kevin couldn't be here tonight, but I think his parents are here. He also won second place in physics in Taiwan at the International Science Fair, where he was the only American representative. Congratulations to the Frank family. Congratulations to you all. Mr. Hayes, would you join us for a photo, please? Thank you. This spring, under the leadership of our superintendent, the district adopted a wellness program, not just for teachers and staff, but for students and employees and the community as well. This was an effort to raise awareness and funds to support our wellness program and student physical education programs. The district held its first annual 5K teacher trot, and for some, the 5K race also marked the first Couch to 5K program. The event drew over 600 runners and supporters. It was a phenomenal success. So at this time, we'd like to recognize two employees who led that tremendous effort on top of their already very busy schedules, and they are Ms. Jessica Elliott and Mr. Bo McCaffrey.
Now, while they're taking the pictures, the school that actually had the fastest team was New Hanover High School, and the school that had the most participants was Coddington Elementary School, which had, I think, almost 80 participants from Coddington.
And then our last recognition for the evening, over the past 2 years, we've had a group of committed volunteers from our district and community who participated in a program that's called the Superintendent's Equity Advisory Committee. And we'd like to recognize those individuals for their dedication and service to our school district. As I call your name, would you please come forward and we'll have a group photo. Ms. Christina Eames. Ms. Monica Goza. Ms. Amy Helmus cannot be here, but I'll call their name into the record. Ms. Cindy Hudson. Mrs. Joyce Hugale cannot be here. Mrs. Julia Lumbombard. Ms. Allison Linkner. Mr. Aaron Oliver. Aaron is shorthanded tonight, so he can't come forward, but Dr. Eleni Papamahil cannot be here, but she's from UNCW. Mr. Nick Rhodes, former board member. Mr. Frankie Roberts. Dr. LaShawn Smith. Ms. Lori Treese. Mrs. Tanita Wallace. Mr. Brian Wilson, and our own Mr. Don Hayes. And the senior staff.
Now, this group met for 2 years. It was a 2-year commitment. We will re-advertise to form a new equity committee moving forward for an additional 2-year term. I want to thank you folks personally for your service.
That concludes our ceremony. Thank you for your attention.
Something we said. I know. Make the rest of them move up.
Yeah, annual soil and water contest winners. Okay.
We have a moment or two if anyone would like to move forward, that you're perfectly comfortable where you are.
Did you see the Boy Scouts in here? Yeah, bye. You're on the back row.
Should I recognize them?
At least have them come forward and tell them that, yeah.
What truth is it?
Is it truth?
Also, at this time, I'd like to recognize, I think they're here, the Boy Scouts from Troop 212. Is that the young men there in the back? No. They're not? 257? Okay. Because we had a Boy Scout troop that was going to post the colors tonight, and I didn't know if y'all were just getting here late. I wanted to recognize you. You're working on a merit badge? Okay. Yeah, you sit through a school board meeting, and you listen to everything, and then you get 2 merit badges, right? Whereas other things like county commissioners meetings, whatever, you just get 1 merit badge, but with school board meetings, you get 2. Is that correct? You wish.
See, honesty, they already following their.
Thank you. We appreciate you being here and hope it will be enlightening and educational for you. Thank you.
I thought maybe they.
Well, we thought you were 212. Okay, item 5 is our call to the audience. We have 2 places where we have a call to the audience. This is one where the items pertain to agenda items. We've had one individual sign up, Ms. Amy Long.
Good evening. You've got to pardon my froggy throat. I'm sick from talking to so many kids in the schools. But I'm Amy Long, and I'm the education coordinator for New Hanover Soil and Water Conservation District. And I just wanted to take a minute to thank the board and particularly the staff, especially Valita and Deb Trafton and Kim Bierstedt for their unwavering support of our programs that we bring into the schools free of charge. Hopefully you're aware, this is the 2nd year you've been able to recognize winners of ours in our annual contests. We have 9 contests across the cycle that go on to the state finalists. You recognize 3 state finalists tonight, but out of those 9 contests, New Hanover actually was represented by 7 students. So we had 7 out of 9 contests represented solely from New Hanover, which is just a wonderful accomplishment, and we could not do it without the likes of a wonderful support staff that you have, and the teachers, especially Pine Valley Elementary School. We have Principal Higgins still in the audience, and Doris Flowers, the AIG teacher, who have participated in these programs since I've been there. I also wanted to just thank you for your continued support, not only with our contests, but also with the programming we bring into the school. With City Stormwater Services, we've been part of the 8th grade EnviroScape program that goes and sees every single 8th grade class in the county. We're now working with the Coastal Federation and successfully piloted a 9th grade service project about stormwater runoff and downspout disconnect, so that was successfully piloted this last semester, and we hope to bring that to all 9th grade classes. And also, we're working with Cape Fear River Watch currently to incorporate a 6th grade curriculum that's based off of a program we've been doing with Trask Middle School and Miss Tiso in particular in the 6th grade there. So the only other thing I wanted to bring to your attention this evening, excuse me, is that in our last strategic plan, we've identified a long-term goal of ours to put in an outdoor learning center in every single school in the county, similar to the ones that we've already helped to install at Bradley Creek Elementary and Alderman Elementary, and also Cape Fear Center for Inquiry, among others. So this is something that we're looking to raise funds for, and we just want you to be aware of the project as we hope to see it flourish and grow and get more of these outdoor education centers into each and every single school in our county. So we look forward to continued support from staff and especially the teachers like Doris and Principal Higgins. And we just wanted to really thank you. So thank you for your continued support and for suffering my voice.
Thank you for thanking us.
Thanks.
Next item on the agenda, item 6, administrative personnel. Item A, superintendent's evaluation. I would just say that the superintendent's evaluation has taken place by the board based upon board policy. And at this time, I have a short paragraph I'd like to read. Dr. Markley has shown great dedication towards our school system. He has maintained a very visible presence in our schools and is to be commended for overseeing continued improvement. In recognition of Dr. Markley's service to our school system, the board is recommending a 1-year extension of his contract. So if someone would like to make a motion.
So moved. Second.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
It is approved unanimously. Thank you, Dr. Markley.
Thank you.
Okay. Item B, administrative recommendations, Appendix A, Dr. Markley.
All right, before I roll into these, first just let me say thank you to the board, and I appreciate your support. It has been a pleasure working here for the 3 years, and I hope to continue to work here for a long time. Administrative recommendations. First one, Ms. Stephanie Cole. She's currently serving as the interim assistant principal at Ashley High School, and we are recommending that she become permanently the assistant principal there. She was the in-school suspension coordinator at Myrtle Grove, and prior to that, a social studies teacher at Mosley Performance Learning Center. Prior to her employment with New Hanover County, Ms. Cole taught in the Memphis school system in Tennessee. Her contract will be effective until June 30th, 2015. She has a BA from East Stroudsburg University in Pennsylvania, a master's degree from Christian Brothers University in Memphis, Tennessee. I would ask for the board's approval.
So moved.
Second.
Comments, questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Is Ms. Cole here?
Approved.
Ms. Cole, please thank you. And Ms. Cole, who do you have with you? Ms. Cole, who's that with you? Thanks.
Congratulations, good to have you here.
Our second recommendation is for the Director of Special Education and Related Services. The recommendation is Julie Askew. Ms. Askew is currently the Director of Exceptional Children's Programs and Support Programs with Pender County Schools. Also, she was Director for Safe Schools, Healthy Students. Prior to that, an assistant principal at Heidi Trask, coordinator for Safe Schools, Discipline, behavior support teacher in Pender County. She also taught behavior disorders and learning disabilities with Craven County and is a former New Hanover County teacher as well. Ms. Askew's contract will be effective until June 30th, 2017. Ms. Askew received a Bachelor's of Arts degree in Special Ed, Behavior and Dyslexic, that's 2015, my apologies. Behavior and a master's degree in school administration from UNCW. It's my pleasure to recommend Julie Askew for the EC director.
Motion to accept.
So moved. Second.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. Is she here?
Yes, Ms. Askew. And who do you have with you? Her start date will depend a little bit upon when Pender County will release, because they can hold for up to 60 days on the administrative contract. But we can't wait for her to come forward and start with us in the district. Next recommendation, Principal, Coddington Elementary School. You'll approve a little later tonight Mr. Dingwall's retirement after a long service with New Hanover County, which we appreciate and thank him for that service. I'm recommending Eric Furman to become the principal. Eric has been serving as our interim principal at Hoggard, and Eric, I appreciate and thank you for the service for doing that. Prior to his employment in Hanover, he taught social studies in Statesville with the Irido-Statesville system. The administrative contract will be effective until June 30th, 2017. He has received his BA in history from Lycoming College in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, and a master's degree in school administration from UNCW. It is my pleasure to recommend Eric for the principalship at Coddington.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any comments, questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It is approved.
And Eric, what do you have with you? All right, now I have several assistant principal recommendations. First one is for DC Virgo Preparatory Academy. The recommendation is Frankie Pollock Jr., not our Frankie who works the front desk, but Frankie's son. Mr. Pollock is currently currently music teacher at Wilson Middle School in Charlotte Meck. Previously music teacher in the Harrisburg School District in Norfolk Public Schools in Virginia. Administrative contract will be in effect until June 30th, 2015. He received his BA in music from Norfolk State and his master's degree from Grand Canyon University. He is also he's also a Virgo alumni, so he'll be going back home.
Oh, that's wonderful. Move for approval.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Comments, questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved.
Is Mr. Pollock here?
No, he's not. He's in Charlotte. But happy point.
And just so you're aware, Mr. Pollock Sr., who's been our front desk person in the central office building for a number of years, is actually moving upstairs to the 3rd floor to a new position. So congratulations to you as well. Next recommendation is for an assistant principal position at New Hanover High School. It's my pleasure to recommend Daniela Stam. She is currently the social studies teacher and department chair for curriculum and instructional lead coach at Ashley High School. Prior to her employment with New Hanover, she taught at Lumberton High School in Robeson County. Her contract will be effective until June 30th, 2015. She has a BA in social studies from Indiana University of Pennsylvania, a master's in curriculum instruction from UNCW, and her add-on licensure will be from UNCW as well. It's my pleasure to recommend Daniela Stam.
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any comments, questions?
I would just say that this young lady helped us with our search process for Ashley High School, and is also been one of my favorite folks to work with over at Ashley in the last 3 years. They'll miss her over there.
She not here?
Yeah. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved, and I see Ms. Stam here. If you
Now, who's with you? And that's our principal, Mr. Finn. Last administrative recommendation for the evening is again assistant principal from New Hanover High School, Miss Erin Hankard. Ms. Hankard completed her administrative internship at New Hanover in the fall, and prior to she is currently enrolled as a principal's fellow and will graduate. She was a literacy coach and first grade teacher at Gregory School of Math and Science. Her contract will be in effect until June 30th, 2015. She has a BA in Science and Sports Management from the University of Massachusetts and received her a Master's in Education in Language and Literacy and a Master's degree in School Administration from UNCW.
Move to approve.
Second.
have a motion and a second. Any comments, questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's approved.
All right, is Ms. Hankard here? That concludes the administrative recommendations.
Thank you. Under item 7, under information, item A, summer feeding program, appendix B, Mr. Hance.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is for your information. We'll be continuing the summer feeding program again this summer. It'll be at 17 different sites, and it's anticipated they'll be serving between 600 and 700 meals every day to students.
that's just for information. Any questions or anything from any board members?
I guess the question I have, Mr. Hance, what does the school system reimburse per meal? How does this work? I mean, obviously, this doesn't impact our budget at all, I would think.
No, it does not, and this is for free and reduced lunches. And
So
we
the
serve children
federal
up-
government reimburses?
Yes, it's a federal government program,
So we're essentially contractors for this?
essentially.
With any expense associated, we're reimbursed, so there's really no expense to our
Yes,
system.
that's correct.
That's the way I understand it. Any other questions? Item B, policies on for first reading. Mrs. Nichols.
At your request, the policy committee convened and talked about the standing board committees. And so we are going to add the Budget Development Committee. And this committee is going to be established to work with the superintendent and the staff to facilitate the proper funding of the New Hanover County Schools and to assist in the formulation of the annual budget. It is going to be comprised of 3 board members appointed by the chairman and 1 who will chair. So there'll be 2 standing committees, and then under board representatives, the Gang Task Force Committee, apparently there is no Gang Force Committee, and so therefore we will not have a representative. I think that the discussion was, and we appreciate Mr. Higgins coming to this meeting, was that when we had the Finance Committee, we did more of deleting recommendations or requests before the full board got the information. This committee will help to develop and working along, but the full board will get all of the information. So, and I'm sure we'll have lots of work sessions for them to share what is taking place. So, Mr. Higgins, you might want to add something since you.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity. Yeah, the idea of this is that the board needs to have an input in the development of the budget prior to the superintendent actually putting the budget together. State law calls for the superintendent to develop the budget, but we are a rather large school system, and we are responsible for a very sizable budget, and the feeling was that it is important that the board not be at the end of the budget process. Although the board was informed, it was a situation where I often felt that we were being told what the budget was going to be instead of helping to develop the budget. So the idea of this committee is not that they will create the budget, but that they will serve as a board representative to the superintendent to help him to develop his budget.
Any other questions on the, that was 3 total, and one of those 3 being the chair?
Yes.
Just like policy, okay.
Thank you. The 4221 software license and approval policy, I'd ask for Dawn Brinson if she will share the information and the changes.
Sorry about that. Yes, the changes that we made were kind of to update the policy to like the apps terminology versus software, as well as making sure, because a lot of schools are doing online subscription services, that schools are making sure they're following the terms of service and conditions. A lot of those online tools say, students under the age of 13 cannot, have an account. And so we want to make sure that schools are paying attention to those terms and conditions and that we're following those terms and conditions. And then just changing some other language so that kind of just flows a little bit better. But the also process for the apps is making sure it's hard for the technology department to kind of oversee the purchase of apps for schools because there's so many, there's thousands of them. So basically we're stating that individual schools shall, through their Media Technology Advisory Committee, have a procedure in place for managing the purchase and installation of apps, regardless of whether it's a free app or whether it's a paid app. So that way, they're not just downloading a bunch of apps, they're actually doing it with going through a process and making sure that they're instructionally appropriate for the school to be using.
Have any questions?
Any questions for Ms. Brinson?
The next policy for consideration, the changes to 4225, I'll ask Ms. Brinson if she'll talk to us about the password policy.
Okay. This policy in the past was NCY's ID and password. NCY's, with it going away and the coming of Power School and Home Base, we changed the terminology there. Also, we added some terminology. Passwords are very important. The procedures that employees follow when making sure passwords are secure and making sure that they're using them when appropriate, so that way they are protecting not only a device, but also protecting content, student information, or teacher information. So letting employees know that they can't share their passwords, how to keep the passwords secure, and treat it as sensitive and confidential information.
Any questions?
I have a question. I note that the old policy was NCY's ID and password policy, and there is a mention of the new terminology that has taken the place of NCY's, that is home base. And I just would think that the title of this policy should include the word, if it used to include NCY's, should it not include home base and password policy, so that if somebody were exploring, that they would know it is more than just the password policy.
Okay, we could make that change. It's not a problem.
That would be a suggestion.
I think the reason we didn't include it at the time was because it's not truly in effect. Well, but it will be by the time we approve.
The state hasn't come up. The reason why we had to have the NCY's ID password policy is because the state, when we went to NCY's, mandated that we had to have this policy. And if you actually look at the state board policy, it still refers to NCY's. I'm assuming as soon as we go to home base in July, the state board will update their policy and require us to make some changes as well. We don't know what changes they're going to require of us at this present time.
But it is, the term home base is included in the policy that we're being asked to adopt, and so it would just seem logical that either we would leave NCY's for the time being, or if we're going to put home base in there, then we put home base up in the title.
I'm okay with putting home base in there. That's perfectly fine.
Okay, good suggestion. Okay, and then if we need to bring it back later on, we certainly will. Thank you, Mr. Higgins. Okay. The next policy, 6086, which is network and internet access for staff. I'll ask Ms. Brinson if she will share the information about that policy.
This was just 2 bullets, I believe, that we added in the process under network etiquette, having for teachers to know, that they are not supposed to be sharing their username or passwords, having them out, and that they shouldn't be entering their personal financial information into any device that's owned by New Hanover County Schools.
And the last policy today for consideration is the student promotion and accountability, 7440, and I ask Dr. Holliday if he will share the information with us.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. This policy change is just on the portion of the policy that is on page 405 that refers to the promotion standards for our students in our occupational course of study. It simply codifies this in the policy. It has not been before. This was the work done by our dropout prevention group that Dr. Markley convened. They saw this as a way that our parents and our students now know what the requirements are in policy for this diploma, and these students can graduate from high school with 22 credits or more. So this gives us that opportunity to do that, and it just brings it in line with state law.
And all of these suggested revisions and changes will be put on the website so that community members can respond and ask questions, and certainly we need to hear from board members if you have any additional thoughts. Okay? And that concludes our report. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nichols. Next on the agenda, item 8, Superintendent's Report. Dr. Markley.
You remember last month we approved a preliminary budget that we forwarded to the county commissioners. Last night the county manager presented his budget to the county commissioners, and the county manager's budget proposed a 5% increase in county funding, which would approximately just over $3 million. $2.1 million of that would be for salary restorations, restoring the 1% salary reduction, the experience plan that we talked about, and allowing implementation of the revised bus driver pay schedule. Additionally, there will be reserved for possible state salary increase of about $300,000. We originally estimated this at 2%, but the governor's budget has 1%, the Senate budget has 0%, so we're anticipating that the House budget will probably be 1%. Now, to make this work, let's see, there will be some recommended budget transfers of approximately $50,000 for monthly employment for counselors with the transition from NCYs to Power School. Having somebody at the schools in the summer to help with those schedules, because they've had to put those in early, is going to be critical. The Accident Marine Science Program, a Lake Forest clerical and extra duty person, and then the transfer of contracted legal services to fund the in-house attorney. That's really, we'll actually come out with a slight savings on that when it's all said and done. Mary Hazel, anything you want to say about those particular ones?
No, those were just the items that we felt was important, that there wasn't enough of county increase to cover, but to find some other way to cover those.
Items that we're going to move to one-time fund balance appropriations, early college tuition and textbooks, that's approximately $100,000. Facility contracted person of $50,000. Our professional membership in the Southeastern Education Alliance, that's professional development it's open to folks across the district. It's an increased general fund appropriation of about $400,000. It still keeps us at above our 8% goal for fund balance. That's in our policy. Items removed from the budget because of the county recommendations: school remediation allotment, human resources, contracted services, advertising and workshops, volunteer program position and services that go with that, directive innovative programs, the charter school reserve, and the transportation fuel reserve. So those are items that were in the original budget that you approved, and assuming that the number comes in from the House budget, from the county, these will be the items that will be removed from that budget, or recommended for removal. And transportation fuel reserve is on there because we've had it for several years, but we have not used it, and we anticipate that next year it probably won't be needing it again. State budget concerns. This could upset and force us to make some changes, but the Senate budget results in a 2% funding reduction. It included some teacher cuts, no raises, and benefit increases. The House budget should be released actually next week, and we anticipate that that'll be a better budget than the Senate budget. Then that will go to conference, and they'll have to work out the differences there. So once that's worked out and we got a budget that goes to the governor, we may make some adjustments to this. For the first time in, I think, 5 years, the county commissioners have recommended a capital outlay budget to us for something besides technology of $2.5 million. So to be combined with lottery funds and fund balance to fund those high priority needs as approved at the April board meeting. One question that's not answered and one that's going to need some discussion is elementary SROs. It was not included in the county request. The estimated first year cost is $1 million, annual salaries of $600,000, then some equipment costs of $386,000. There are some funding options for us to look at, and if we want to continue with this. We could have asked for a reduction in our county capital allotment by about $1 million to cover these first year costs. A concern would be the county's willingness to absorb these costs going into the second year. We could also look at potentially, we've set aside $1 million in our own fund balance for security. We could take half of that to help fund the SROs, and that we've set aside waiting for that audit, and use some of that money to do this, along with some money we've set aside for locks and bells at our entrances. and then reduce the capital project listing by about $500,000. And if we did that, then those are the projects that would make up that $500,000. Some painting at Blair, a PA system at Laney, some kitchen work at Howe, and then a mobile unit at Ogden. So those, if we wanted to take half of our set aside for waiting for the security reserve that we've set aside, we could eliminate these projects off the capital list together to come up with that $1 million funding. And so that really brings us to the next step. This is sort of an interim, just an update in terms of where we are. So I need feedback from you folks in terms of where you want to go with SROs. Do you want us to look at our capital funding and maybe moving some stuff for that one time? And then we have an interim hearing scheduled, I think a meeting scheduled after the student appeals hearings because the county should have approved their budget by then, so we can give you a definite figure there. But then the final budget would be approved by the board on July 2nd. And I want to thank Mr. Hayes for coming to the meeting last night and representing the board. Ms. Smalls, anything you want to add to that?
I think you covered everything.
Any questions that I can answer for the board?
I just might add that I was very impressed last night with the comments made by the county concerning the school system, the leadership of the school system, and I think the willingness to financially increase things quite a bit versus, like you said, with the capital needs from the last 5 years and the increase this year. Of course, we still have a lot to look at, but I think it was very positive last night.
And I want to thank you, and they were very complimentary of the work of the board and working together. So we've got the feedback on SROs. If you could get that to me, we can probably put that together for that that interim meeting and have some kind of discussion around that. Because I think that's probably the biggest issue for the board going forward in terms of the direction we want to go. Was
that going to be the meeting on the 19th with the appeals? What they're going to be? Is that what you're talking about?
That is the only topic on the agenda, folks, is budget that night, because you guys will have had a long day, and we'll make that as brief as possible. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Was there something he was doing?
No, he said it would be very brief for him because he has to be there.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Markley. Under item 9, consensus items, item A, personnel, appendix D, Dr. Welmers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Would request the board approve the personnel matters as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Comments, questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. Item B, budget amendments to be approved. State Public School Fund Budget Amendment Number 7, General Fund Budget Amendment Number 7, Capital Outlay Fund Budget Amendment Number 8, Federal Grant Fund Budget Amendment Number 3, Other Restricted Revenue Fund Budget Amendment Number 7, the Trust Fund Budget Amendment Number 2, Appendix A, Mary Hazel Small.
Move for approval.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Comments, questions? Anything you wanted to just dying to say, Ms. Small?
No, sir.
Well, hearing no comments or questions, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? They are approved. Item C, change of school assignments to Appendix F. Dr. Holliday.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I recommend that the board approve these releases to neighboring counties due to the fact that the parents are employed by those various districts.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those, any comments, questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's approved. Under item 10, under new business, item A, appointment to the Cape Fear Community College Board of Trustees, Appendix G. As many people may not know, that the school board appoints 4 members of the Board of Trustees for Cape Fear Community College. The county commissioners appoint 4. I think the governor, Mr. Higgins, he appoints 4, and then there's one, the student body president, is an ex officio member. One of our appointees is rotating off, so we advertised the position. 3 individuals sent in resumes and applied. The interviews were held today, and it was really very tough decision and a very close decision. but the appointee that we're appointing is Patrick McCarty, who is the principal down at Murray Middle School. He'll be the appointee that's going to take the position that's available at this time. So we need a motion to approve that.
So move.
Second.
Comments, questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. Item B, disposal of surplus property. And all the things we need to add to that, Mr. Bullard, the state statute.
Necessary or desirable for public school purposes.
Okay.
In the motion.
I want to stay out of trouble. Mr. Hance.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I request that the board approve the list of property that is no longer necessary or desirable for school purposes.
Move for approval.
Second.
Comments, questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. Item C, beverage vending contracts. Mr. Hance.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Request that the board approve the vending contracts for Mosley and Hoggard.
Move for approval.
Second.
Comments, questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's approved. Item D, increase lunch meal prices for grades pre-K through 8, Appendix J. Mr. Hance.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Request that the board approve a price increase. This is the first price increase since 2012. It will bring us into alignment with all the prices for lunch being $2.25 from K through 12. So this is the K8 increase. It will remain $1.95 for pre-K.
Move for approval. Second.
Comments, questions?
I'd just like to ask why it's just K through 8 and not high school. Also.
High school is already at $2.25.
Mr. Hance, I know you explained this last year. You said there hasn't been an increase since 2012. Well, it's 2013, so that means we increased it last year. Really not that long ago.
Right. That's right.
And there was some explanation that we had to increase our prices to become more in line for what the federal government reimburses.
That's correct. We're required by, we have to do it in accordance with the federal law, the federal Hunger-Free, what is it called? It's the Hunger-Free Kids Act of 2010. We have to be in compliance with that, and in order to remain in compliance with that, we have to increase our prices.
And how much are we increasing them?
We're increasing it by, I think it's 10 cents or 15 cents, Ms. Smith, is you? 15 cents.
Now, I could have read this wrong. Tell me if I did. And it's, I would say, the maximum annual average price increase required to meet the requirements of this subparagraph shall not exceed 10 cents for any school food authority. Does that mean we could just increase it 10 cents, not 15 cents?
I don't.
Eimer,
like
go ahead and come
Eimer
up to the
did.
mic.
Yeah, like Eimer to talk. I'm not certain that we could, but it appears we might.
Is that listed on the paragraph on?
Yeah, I mean, it's all this legal jargon. Let me ask Mr. Bullard. Hey, Mr. Bullard, how do you? Yeah,
We
right here.
did-
Let me show it to you.
Tell me we what did have
Right here.
it.
That's right here. It's, I mean, I don't know. It's like, you know, it's C1. All quotations and stuff. It's all this.
We had a formula that we had to meet, and we had to put in the number of paid meals, and in that formula, it gave us a $2.30 increase, but we do have the ability to plus or minus 5 cents from that figure. So we did go with $2.25, and I just wanted to make it straight across the board at $2.25.
So what you're saying is that a high school student is paying the same thing as a kindergarten.
Correct.
Yeah. And so what, I guess in answer to the question Dr. Hickey is asking, I noted in the newspaper this morning where Pender County had changed their rates.
Okay, yes, sir.
But I'm thinking that they had a 3-tier rate, 1 tier for up to the 5th grade, another tier for 6 through 8, and another tier for 9 through 12. And I don't think the the K through 8 was 2 1/4. And so I guess my question is, if there's these rules about what we can and cannot charge, what's the difference between us and Pender County with respect to what they can charge a child under the age of 6? Because quite frankly, I don't see a 5th grader eating nearly as much as a high schooler.
And that's true. You have to think about Pender County, and they do have a higher free and reduced percentage, which means that they're gaining more revenue that way. Right now, we're at 51%, so we are climbing, but the revenue that we gain each year does not cover, the paid price. So more children are, we have more paid children than Pender County. I don't have the figures in front of me.
Okay, well, yeah, but I'm just trying to understand why they have a 3-tiered system and we're going to a 1-tier system.
We do. More counties are going to the 1-tier system. It's just in accordance to, they do have a management company, so it's just in accordance to how they want to handle creating their needs, their revenue needs. With New Hanover County, the federal government, the goal is $2.59. So I just wanted to make it straight across the board at $2.25. It's not my doing, it's what the formula that the state has given me to use that tells me how much, what the increase can be for that, where we need to go with the increase.
Okay.
And if you're not receiving as much reimbursement from the federal government, then I guess you would have to raise prices on the other, because it has to be, you've got to break even.
Correct, because we are an enterprise system, a program for the school system, and, I'm proud to say the last 5 years we have supported ourselves. So I want to continue that, and, one way to do that is, you do have to look at it like a business, and you do have to look at, where do we need to go to meet our needs? And that's where I think that's what I proposed right there is where I think we can make it for next year. Did that answer your question?
Well, I think we've established that the chocolate milk isn't that bad.
I'm glad we got that off.
Okay, so that was the important discussion that we finalized earlier this year, and I thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Clarify for me,
yes,
what does the federal government reimburse per meal?
For paid.
K through 8. What does the federal government pay?
Paid is 35 cents. Reduced is $2.54, and free is $2.94.
So the federal government pays our system $2.94 for every lunch.
For every free child.
For
lunch. And it costs me $2.70 to produce a meal. So I am gaining a little bit of revenue that way. Now, if you think about the paid meals, I'm charging $2.25, and the federal government's going to give me 35 cents.
Oh, okay.
And it costs you $2.70.
$2.70.
Yeah. Well, I understand. So every year, based on this formula, the people who actually pay for their lunch, they will pay more every single year until it reaches what the federal government is reimbursing. Is that right?
Well, the goal right now is $2.59. It's not up to the goal of what the federal government reimburses us, but it's at $2.59 according to the Healthier Hunger Kids Free Act.
So every year what we're going to do is we're going to increase. So like Mr. Hans said, the last increase was 2012. So next year you'll bring this forth and say the last increase was 2013.
Well, I'm hoping that
as if it was that long ago.
Yeah, and you have to look at it according to participation. So if I can increase my participation, maybe I won't have to come back next year for an increase.
Well, I mean, I know it's only 5 cents, and maybe I'm just doing this because it's fun. But I did read this, and I think Mr. Bullard agrees that the language in this contract contradicts each other. And at least in one of these subparagraphs, it says that the most you are forced to increase the people who pay for their lunches is 10 cents. And so, again, sticking up for the poor, actually the fortunate children who are required to pay full freight for their lunches. If that's possible, I'd like to just increase it by 10 cents as opposed to 15 cents.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, it does seem to say that you can do it for more than 10 cents, and then in another sentence it says you can't do it for more than 10 cents. And I'm wondering whether maybe that's a typo, because it appears that that was language copied from a federal statute. So I don't think the federal statute would necessarily conflict with itself, so I'll be glad to double check that, but Dr. Hickey's right, it does appear to conflict.
Okay, I'll check on that. I know that if we don't increase it to the formula that they have given me, it will carry over into next year, the difference. So we might want to think about that, but I will check on.
If you approve the 15 cents and it turns out this federal statute says you can't, then we would only do it 10.
Well, I think it says you can increase it kind of as much as you want, but you're not required to increase it more than 10 cents. I think what they're trying to do is say that they don't want to give you sticker shock in any one year. So if you're in a community that can't afford more than a 10-cent increase per year, they don't want to, you know, stick it to you, so to speak.
But what you're recommending would meet the formula, because we're still below what the federal, what the 259.
Correct.
They're advocating.
And the current formula tells me I need to increase it to $2.30. But according to my DPI consultants, they said I could plus or minus 5 cents. So that's why I went with $2.25, just to make it across the board. And then I'm hoping participation will increase, and then I won't have to come back next year. That's my goal.
That would make Mr. Hance happy, because all that time would pass in between times.
Make it 2 years. No.
Well, we want to go ahead and approve the motion as made, and then if we need to,
Well, I was just going to comment that maybe it doesn't conflict with itself, because it actually says that the maximum annual average increase shall not exceed 10 cents. And then it says school food authority may increase the average price for a lunch for a year by more than 10 cents. So it says in any year you can do it more than 10 as long as your average annual increase is not more than 10. But it doesn't say how many years you use to calculate the average.
Is it best if we take it off of the table right now, and do we have to do it tonight so that we make sure we do it right whenever we do it?
I think we need to do it.
well, based upon what the federal government is telling us, I don't think we can go wrong no matter what we do. But I think, Mr. Boyd, if I understood what you said, we could go ahead and approve the motion because it says we can, and you're just looking at an average for more than 1 year.
You can approve it, and if we determine that the law doesn't allow you to increase it that much, then it would just be increased the maximum amount that the law allows.
And that would help you, would it not, Ms. Smith?
Yes,
to go
sir.
ahead and, okay, so is everybody okay with that? We have a motion and a second. Any other comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
It is approved, I guess, what, 6-1?
Yeah.
Was that one lone voice I heard? Is it
One lone voice in the wilderness, Mr. Hayes.
one lone voice? Okay, thank you. Item E, NHCS academically or intellectually gifted plan revision, Appendix K, Dale Pelsey-Becton.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Request the approval of the New Hanover County AIG plan for 2013-2016.
Move for approval.
Second.
Comments, questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. Item F, Title I application, 2013-2014, Appendix L, Dale Pelsey-Becton.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Request approval of the Title I application for the 2013-2014 school year.
Move for approval.
Second.
Comments, questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. Item G, the Masonboro Group Contract, 2013-2014, Appendix M, Dale Pelsey-Becton.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Request the approval of the Masonboro Group contract.
Move for approval.
Second.
Comments, questions?
I'd like to say what a pleasure it is to have Mr. West with us, and what a great job he does and how much we appreciate it.
I look forward to seeing your evaluation of how our after-school tutoring program is working out.
Any other comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. Item H, Career and Technical Education, CTE State Federal Funding Application for fiscal year 2013-2014, Appendix N, Dale Pelsey-Becton.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Request approval of the CTE application for the 2013-2014 school year.
Move for approval.
Second.
Comments, questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. Item I, renew contract with AKIS Incorporated for special education and related services. Appendix O, Dr. Holliday.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I ask the board to approve this contract. It is renewal of a contract. It provides behavioral intervention and support services and training, and we receive categorical state funding for this through an application process.
Move for approval.
Second.
Comments, questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's approved. Item J, renew cooperative agreement with North Carolina Division of Vocational Rehabilitation for special education and related services. Appendix P, Dr. Holliday.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This contract provides vocational rehabilitation services for eligible students to assist in the transition from school to work for students with disabilities. School systems are required to prepare students with disabilities for employment and post-secondary education. Last year, this contract assisted 315 students with disabilities toward their individual employment and post-secondary education goals. Hanover County Schools investment leveraged over $500,000 of services for these students.
Move for approval.
Second.
Comments, questions? All
I
those
would
in-
like to ask for someone from Voc Rehab to come and make a presentation to the board at a future date.
Will do.
Any other comments or questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. Item K, renew contract with Maximum Healthcare Services for special education and related services. Appendix Q, Dr. Holliday.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This contract provides pediatric one-on-one nursing services for 6 medically fragile students according to their IEPs, and a habilitation technician services for 2 classrooms for young adults with cognitive disabilities. Recommend approval.
Move for approval.
Have a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's approved. Item L, renew contract with New Hanover County Health Department for school-based mental health services. Appendix R, Dr. Holliday.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I recommend approval. This contract provides on-site mental health therapy at 15 of our elementary and middle schools. 53% of the service cost is paid for by insurance, and 580 students received services this past year.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to move that this proposal be tabled for further study. I have a lot of questions that Dr. Holliday will not likely be able to answer, and think I'd like to have someone from the health department come speak on this at a work session.
So the contract, you're asking that the contract for the school-based mental health services be pulled?
Just be tabled till we can have a presentation by the Board of Health at a work session.
Would that be a problem, Dr. Holliday, as far as the time frame to?
I'll do whatever you ask.
We will not be having a work session in June, so would you need the contract information
I need the
before July?
contract before school starts, yes, ma'am.
Before school starts, so we could hear it in July. hear the
July
presentation.
2nd, that's our next scheduled board meeting. Would that be sufficient
Yes,
time,
sir,
Dr. Holliday?
I can do that.
But we would not have a work session before then, so when would we have the presentation?
We could do it as information at the second. We'll put it in the superintendent's report.
Okay, would that work, Doctor?
That'll work.
Okay.
I'll send you a list of questions I have for the Board of Health people.
So on the superintendent's report then,
Actually, it'll go into old business since you're gonna take action on the contract, so they can make a presentation as part of that contract.
so we'll have it then on July the 2nd.
It'll be under old business on July 2nd.
So I guess we need a motion to pull this from the,
Move to table it.
Second.
any comments or questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We'll table that to July the 2nd. Item M, sole source iPad resolution for Virgo Appendix S, Dawn Brinson.
Request that the board approve the sole source iPad resolution for DC Virgo Preparatory Academy. This is for their upcoming 6th graders.
Move for approval.
Second.
I have a question. and it just may be just my ignorance when it comes to things like this. But, you know, I'm seeing more and more that there are limitations on what iPads can do and what some of the other available instruments can. For example, some of the smaller notebooks, and I think Google or Microsoft now has a unit out that is much cheaper, and the ad implies that it can do much more than the iPads can do.
It's being advertised for Father's Day. I think Mr. Higgins has put something on his wish list.
So what?
It's being advertised for Father's Day.
No. Well, anyway, you know, I guess my question is, you know, we're buying these iPads, and while I know I've got one here and all, but, you know, I'm wondering if that is actually the best way for us to be going, and whether or not there are other types of electronic instruments out there that may serve students much better than the iPad does.
There are lots of other devices out there. Just because they're cheaper doesn't mean that they're better. So sometimes they're marketing them for consumer use because they consider them disposable. You have it for a year, you upgrade, buy a new one. The reason why we have standardized on the iPad, one is we can't support, in my staff, all the different varieties of tablets that are out there. Two is the management system for the iPads is much more advanced than what it is for any of the other systems. We are keeping an eye out on some of the other systems to kind of see if they come along with their management piece, but as of right now, to be able to manage them, the volume that we have in the district, the Apple device, the iPad, is much easier to manage for us.
But there's a lot of things this thing won't do.
Like what?
Certain aspects of Java.
It doesn't play Flash videos, but as
I'm not. Well, okay.
Well, Java is Flash. That is the Flash videos. But what the industry is actually, everything's moving away from Flash. Adobe even no longer supports Flash. Websites are moving away from that, going to what's called HTML5 because it loads much faster, doesn't use as much bandwidth. So the industry is moving away from that. I'd say most every, video that you see or site that you go to that it requires Flash, you could probably find a comparable site that doesn't require Flash. That's actually moved over to HTML5.
Except for New Hanover County government.
Well, and do you know if the online classes are going to move? Does anyone know if the online classes are going to move away from the Flash? Because that was my issue with the iPad.
They are supposed to be. The state is working on that. They're also moving away from their management system, from the Blackboard, moving to Moodle, and that's just a slow process.
Okay.
Unfortunately, in education, things move a little bit slower than what they do out there in the consumer world.
Do they have any timeline?
Not that I've seen,
5,
but we
10
can
years?
definitely research that.
Okay.
That's why the mobile labs that we're putting out there, all the mobile labs that you guys have approved are not iPad labs. We actually are still there is still a need for a laptop. I mean, it doesn't do everything for every case, but for students and instruction, it is a very good tool.
So let me ask a couple of questions. You're ordering, if I see this correctly, 120 iPads. Do we have 120 new students coming into Virgo?
I'm getting you to approve the 120. I'm basically going to order what I will only order the amount that we need if it goes up to the 120, so I don't have to come back and get you to approve this again. Because this is Race to the Top funds, I have to come back every single time and get your approval. So you've approved up to the 120. Depending on when I place the order, I call student support, see what the enrollment is. That's the number that I order. But if during the summer I have to order more, then I can order up to that 120.
Okay, and then refresh what we had decided. At one point, the Virgo students were going to take these iPads home. Did they take the iPads home last year?
They did take them this year home for a very short period of time. We had problems with the filtering, and the other bigger issue is the access the kids had at home. They had found kids did not have a lot of wireless access at home. We've been working with the county with trying to do wireless throughout, using the white spaces to try and find some hot spots, and the county's had some issues in getting that so it's consistently up and running and provides good internet access for the youth enrichment zone.
Okay, and I guess lastly, these things are fragile. I've had a child break an iPad, so it's not that it doesn't happen with some regularity. How many did we lose to terrors like my child?
At Virgo, they have not had a broken one that I know of.
Well, better than my house.
So we're buying the nice cases, and that's, it's more money you're paying, but the heavy cases that we're buying, it protects them. It's worth it. They had one go down the stairs at Virgo, and it did not break.
Any other comments or questions? Well, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Okay, 5-1 would be the vote. I've been asked at this time to take a 5-minute break, so we'll break for 5 minutes.